we determine what goes in them? Is there a survey, Snickers versus Reese's versus Cinnabon, Honey Buns?
Right.
How do we determine what goes in our vending machine? Does the supplier or do you?
So what we want to determine, first of all, is market research.
Okay.
You know, McDonald's, you know, Chick-fil-A, they're all researching who's shopping, who's buying, who's not buying.
Okay.
And so we need to really figure out who our customer is. And so in the office multiplex, I found out that most of the people were solopreneurs, meaning they were one person that owned the business and they're doing all the work. And so
the one in the office complex, one person
is working in that
and
office,
they coming in,
and they have clients coming in, and they're the only person working.
Okay.
So what does that person need? They need energy drink. They're gonna need to stay there longer. They need something that's gonna satisfy the hunger. They need a Snickers bar. They need something that's going to, you know, get them through the day. They need a bag of chips.
Oh, we basing the vending machine what's in it on where it is.
On where it is.
Okay, duh, Brian. Okay, one time for the
you know, Chick-fil-A does. Chick-fil-A they're surveying the area to make sure that the people that's in this area have enough money, enough disposable income to afford to shop at Chick-fil-A. So I'm doing the exact same thing with vending machines. I'm doing the exact same thing.
Hey, it's a great day to change lives. Welcome to another episode of the Instincts Podcast. When I tell you, Brother Brooks is in the building, also known as Jason. Now I'm excited about this, man.
Yes,
let me prep him. This conversation is gonna twist. It's gonna turn. It's gonna go from personal to business, back to personal, because he has a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom that when he talks, honestly, I found myself just sitting there just listening, man. So I said, you got to come to the show
for sure. Share
some of this knowledge with everybody and share the business that you're running. Because I ain't gonna lie, I even want to get involved in it and never knew how.
I got you.
We're not gonna tell y'all just yet what that is, but we always start the show with a question. So it's the Instincts Podcast. Our job is to inspire people, right?
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. They see us today, Bean Acres, Instincts. They see what you're doing with the vending machines, hint, hint, clue, clue. But they don't know it's a story behind that.
Right.
And somebody right now is going through something, and they don't know that they're not the only one that's going through it, and they're not the only one that's ever gotten through it.
Been there.
So arguably, what is the toughest thing in life you've had to overcome, and then how'd you overcome it?
Whew.
We got a lot. We can start. Man. I mean, we got a lot of them, right?
Man, we got so many, but you know, I would say one of the toughest journeys that I've had to take in my life has been overcoming homelessness.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was married like 2018. You know how that goes. Ended up getting a divorce and really just lost everything in the divorce. And you know, ended up leaving that situation and thought I would do better. Lost my job, lost everything behind it. So I ended up having to move back in my mom's home. We weren't stable there. And I mean, when I tell you I was hustling, brother, I was doing everything I could, working 2 jobs, Pizza Hut at night, you know what I mean? Working a regular day job in the day. And I just found myself sleeping in my car, you know, not really having access to stable housing because I'm in a home, but the house is full. So I'm room to room, sleeping in bathrooms. And I think that was probably the toughest part of my life at that moment.
Now, this is interesting, man, because I remember one holiday, I think it was, I want to say Easter, a friend of mine and I, we actually went into the woods and we fed some people who chose to be intense. Now, this is not your situation. I'm just showing you something.
Right.
There's different definitions, if you will, of homeless.
Right.
Because I didn't even think about this until we went and fed a family, several families, off of I-20 here in Atlanta. They were under a bridge, and they actually kind of chose. This group actually chose not to go to a shelter. They didn't want to look out. They didn't want to go, be a burden in their minds to friends and family.
Right.
They was like, look, we happy. And I never, ever thought I would see such. One guy was reading Think and Grow Rich. Homeless people, and this is not your situation, but I just want to say this while we're talking about it. Homeless people, in my experience in that situation, didn't look, sound, talk, walk, or act like the people that we think are defined as homeless.
Absolutely.
When you say you were homeless, was part of it that you didn't want to be a burden to anybody? Like, in other words, is that part of it? Like, you just feel like you got to get yourself out of the situation?
Absolutely.
What's the mindset there?
One of the things that people forget about homelessness is that it takes so many different forms.
There you go.
So you'll have some people that will have housing scarcity, meaning they may go from place to place. there may not be a stable home environment, and that's something that I kind of experienced. You have some people that choose to be away from a permanent domicile, and a lot
Rules
of it
and
for me,
regulations.
right. A lot of people, they just anti-state taxes, anti-government, and they rather just live off the land. But for me, I think a majority of my problem was embarrassment, because as a man, you feel like you're supposed to provide and have these things. And for that chapter in my life, I really didn't have it.
Yeah.
And so there was an embarrassment of being over the age of 30 and going to your mom like, hey, it didn't work out. Things, you said not this person, but
I did it
anyway. And now I have to, come back home with my tail tucked between my legs, so to speak.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Now, Jay, how does a person go from sleeping in the car? What's the mindset to say, my situation doesn't define me.
Right.
This is not who I am. What are you thinking about every day? Or what are you thinking about, not every day, what's the one thought you had that got you from homeless to housing?
I think people sometimes forget to have that faith piece, because a lot of times we get caught into the sweep of like the religious aspect. Look,
Absolutely.
we get caught into the religious aspect of faith, but we don't get into the nitty gritty of I need to have faith of a mustard seed. And so during that time, I was really tore down, really to be built back up. I had to really reaffirm myself and have confidence in myself, and to realize that just because I'm going through something right now, this doesn't define my whole book. This is just a chapter in the story of my life, and I'll get through this. And so getting a better connection with God, being more spiritual, getting an understanding of what I am to the Creator and what the Creator is to me, that's what brought me out. And then also changing my mindset. And you made the key point. It is really a mindset.
Yes.
Because I've seen people, win the lottery and become broke within the next 2 or 3 years.
Just like that, yep.
And I've seen people start with nothing, and become multimillionaires, lose it, and then get it back again.
That's right.
And so it really depends on that person's mindset of where you go. And so I started to read those books like Think and Go Rich from Napoleon Hill, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course, because these are the things that I had time for. Now, I'm not looking at the basketball or the football. I'm looking at what have I done in my life to end up here.
Got it.
And now it gives me that reality check, and I use that to push myself forward, because now my motivation is not just, what can I do for myself, but now my motivation is, hey, these things have real consequences. If I'm not able to pay my bills, not only am I homeless, but then my sons are homeless, my kids are homeless, my daughters are homeless. So it really pushes me to move forward and not procrastinate some of the things that I was doing before.
Man, it's nothing like a story of redemption and triumph. Jay, when you wanted to give up, what did you pull on? Other than your faith.
I'll tell you,
somebody ready to give up.
I almost did. Yeah. And the thing that pulled me back to reality was understanding that I've been here for 30 plus years. If, I've seen friends of mine from our neighborhood that they grew up, went to college, died tragically. I've had friends about to make it out of the hood. One of my closest friends is a guy named Doe B. He had a music song, Let Me Find Out, from Montgomery, Alabama, got a record deal. And he was killed in his hometown.
Wow.
And I was supposed to be with him that night, got the invite to come, and for some reason locked my keys in my car. So it wasn't meant for me, and I keep thinking back to how many chances we've had where, we leave out a few minutes later and somebody gets into an accident. And so God has a purpose for me. And I had to realize that purpose hasn't been fulfilled. That's why I'm still here. So instead of me, using this moment to mope about the situation, of course, I took my time to, grieve the situation for real, because you're a 30-year-old man at the house.
Absolutely.
At mom's house, it doesn't look really good.
Absolutely.
But I took a minute to grieve, and then I dusted myself up and get back on it again.
Now, I warned everybody. I told everybody this conversation going to take some twists and turns. Before we get to the vending machines, because I know y'all get to the money.
Yes, indeed.
He has so much more to offer.
Absolutely.
You said your friend got killed in Montgomery. And it brings me to the state of hip-hop right now.
Oof.
We got to go on and hit. Let's just do a quick detour.
Oh, man, we're going to do it.
All right.
We're going to do it.
Say the state of hip-hop right now, man. There's even a documentary, shout out to 50 Cent, called Hip-Hop Homicide.
Yeah.
It's that many.
Absolutely.
They said we've lost more artists in the past 9 months than we have in 30 years of hip-hop.
Absolutely.
How old is hip-hop now? Hip-hop may be 50 now.
It's getting ready to turn 50 next year, I think.
50 years. We've lost more artists in 9 months. In your estimation, man, is it art imitating life or life imitating art? What's up with all the losses now? These young guys don't get it.
It's definitely life imitating art. A lot of these guys are just trying to be clever in the studio. And what ends up happening is record label is that, because you don't want to take it out of the frame of these are multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies.
Facts.
So you got your Leo Cohens that are at the top of the game, and they're allowing this kind of music to go out to the masses. So that's why you don't even have 3 verses anymore. You don't have subject matter anymore. You don't have lyricism anymore. You have really just hip hop beats that sound great and a bunch of guys just coasting on the beat. That's all you really have at this point. You know, they want to sound creative, but it's really not creative. And because you have that same, you know, there's a phrase in the Bible that says the tongue is very powerful.
Absolutely.
And that's something that's very true. You really do speak things into existence. This universe acts off mental.
That's right.
So as you start saying, kill them, shoot them, kill them, switches, kill them, shoot them, kill them, these things are being played millions of times. That means your voice is saying death over you, yourself, property, other people, millions of times. That stuff is going to happen every single time.
It's going to happen.
Every single time.
We lost, was it PMB?
Yes, Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke. my man in Texas.
Yeah, man. Not Quavo. Takeoff.
Takeoff here.
Takeoff. Yeah.
My man in Texas was jury on the highway.
Yeah, man.
I forgot his name. But
you ready for your free gift? I hate to interrupt, but you guys took the time to listen to me and the Ducks, so I need you to listen one more second for some continued education. Visit workwithbnb, those are my initials, workwithbnb.com to get your free training called Tap Into Your Instincts. We are the highest form of intelligence God ever created, but it's time to figure out how these guys like ducks and silverbacks and jaguars and hummingbirds and king cobras, how do they survive in their natural habitat? Life can be tough sometimes, but guess what? As a human being, you are tougher. If you know me, I'm about 2 things: tapping into your instincts and growing your income. Visit workwithbnb.com. Get your free gift. You deserve it. You're listening to the podcast, and I want to give something back to you that I was given, and that's a life worth living. Workwithbnb, those are my initials, .com. Get your free gift, and who knows, maybe we can work together on a monthly basis as well. Click the link, workwithbnb.com, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
my thing is, drill rap, like hip hop has evolved.
Absolutely.
Obviously, right?
Absolutely.
We go from way back. You know, people forget we wearing African American body. Those guys are wearing some of the craziest, coolest outfits in the world.
Indeed.
Then we go to KRS-One, Education, PMD, EPMD, Run DMC. I'll go down the whole evolution.
Absolutely.
But now it's like we're in a dangerous spot. Would you blame it more on the executives who are force feeding these lyrics to us, or would you blame it on the society that puts us in these conditions to even have these lyrics?
I would say definitely hip hop has always been a reflection of the society.
Okay.
Always.
That's right.
So you know, hip hop is born out of, you know, the degradation that was happening in New York,
At the time.
where, you know, they had buildings being burned down for insurance money, people being vacated from their homes and not having access to jobs. This is the poverty start of the 1970s on into the 80s. And so you have that happening at the same time, the drug underculture, which we always imitate anyway, right? Because we want to give you that real, that gritty, which is the basis of hip hop.
Yep.
But the problem is that now it's being exploited by top level executives because they know this is what kids want to have. Now, the kids don't really have, you know, a say-so over what they want, because if you open up YouTube or these other apps, you're going to be presented with algorithms. You're going to be presented with what they want you to see. And that doesn't necessarily reflect what people's musical tastes are.
I told you.
Right now, people really want a return to R&B, but what we're actually getting is like mumble with R&B tracks. And that's really all we're getting. That's all we're getting. We don't have Tevin Campbell anymore. We don't have no, we can't talk anymore. And now they fooled you so bad to the point where you think that this is what people really want. But if I play the same record 300 times, it's gonna get catchy. And we've seen that with the careers of so many other people. Waka Flocka said he knew he was a trashy rapper, but because he was spent so many times, he had the mechanism behind him. Like, you could come out with a song tomorrow, and if you have enough stations behind you, you're almost guaranteed to go gold.
And the people, yeah, exactly. And the people, the people get force fed so much.
Absolutely.
They like, this must be hot.
This is the hotness. This is the hotness. You know, I could listen to that Trinidad Jane, All Gold to My Neck. That was a throwaway song. But you listen to that enough and it becomes catchy. You listen to Lil Yachty, Poland song, I Took the Walk to Poland. He's talking about taking drugs out of the country But because you say it so many times, you play it so many times, that repetition is the father of learning. You learn that, it becomes subconscious, and now it's trapped into your psyche. Now you're gonna be saying it, just like Ice Spice and all the others. It's not really talent, but you're gonna listen to it because that's what's on.
I love it, man. That
Absolutely.
Jay, that only you could
you know,
deliver.
No shade.
Only you could
No
deliver
shade
that profound of an answer.
Look, I don't want the hip hop mafia to get me, but no shade to those folks. But you know, the reality of it is, it's just different music, and at this time, what we're trying to do as black folks is really have a cohesion amongst each other. We see that politically. We're seeing that black people are coming together on one voting block, and it's not necessarily Democrat, not necessarily Republican. It's whoever is going to provide us tangibles.
That's right.
And so now that we're coalescing together, we need a theme track, just like Curtis Blow. You know, you have these theme tracks that Isaac Hayes. These are theme tracks of the decade.
Yes.
Who's going to provide your theme track of the decade? It can't be Little Shoot 'Em Up.
That's right.
That person's not going to inspire you to go after things like reparations or
economic
empowerment,
unity.
You know, the mortality rate that black women are facing, specifically with childbirth. None of your female artists are even tapping into that. But these are real life things that are happening. And hip hop has always been a microphone or a megaphone for people that didn't have a voice.
Love it, man.
So, you know, I hope that we get it together. But, you know, right now we don't control nearly any of the distribution.
That's the problem.
That's the key.
That's the problem.
You own the house, but you don't own the land. So when I get tired of you, I just raise the taxes and kick you out of the house. And that's what happens to 95% of the music artists that are out today.
That doggone Jason, boy, I tried to warn him. Now, look, we're getting to the vending machines. I promise you. But Jay, me and you sat down and had a talk. And I don't want to misquote you, but you gave me a philosophy that I don't want to misquote. You were like, if you look at the top artists, Brian, and you named all these international.
Absolutely.
Drake.
Absolutely.
Explain to them real quick what your philosophy was on. It was like Drake, and then my Haitian brother.
You got your boy.
With the wild, he just got pardoned.
Kodak Black.
Talk to me about your belief that the powers that be want more international influence than domestic.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at your top Billboard, at least the top 10 artists are, not. And I want to use this term for people that don't know. I consider myself a foundational Black American, and that's a person that comes from the lineage of slavery. That's a person that comes from the descendants of slaves and also was mixed in with Native Americans, because we know now that a lot of indigenous people here were dark-skinned people. Absolutely. That's something we're not going to debate about that. You know, This is 2022, about to be 2023. We're not going to debate about stuff that has been easily proven hundreds of times, right?
Not open for discussion.
We're not going to open that up. But, you look at Nicki Minaj. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing wrong with that, but there is a concerted effort to sign artists that are not from here, because the artists that are from here are going to speak to that unspoken truth of people that have come from the lineage of slavery, that have made it to a certain status. But a lot of our heroes, they don't forget us, like Ice Cube. He doesn't forget us. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not including Kanye in that. We're going to get back to Kanye in a minute. But most of our riders, they ride with us, and when you look at the twerk music, that is the evolution of Uncle Luke. Uncle Luke is not from the United States. His lineage comes from the islands. So that culture is a part of island culture, but they've taken and perverted that and made it more sexualized. So now you have a whole generation of people that think that is black music, and we've gotten away from what black music is. Really? Black American music is.
Absolutely. And
now this is the thing that they're using to coast and become international superstars.
Got it.
Because without this genre, you can't do this in country.
No, so what you're saying is somebody told me hip hop was the #1 export in the world.
Absolutely. I can believe that.
We run the world.
I can believe that.
And so, in your estimation, the Drakes, and this is no shade to anybody.
No shade.
But we're just saying, internationally known artists are now being artists from other countries are now being pushed internationally because they're international.
Absolutely.
To get away from those who may be a little truer to the struggle here.
Absolutely. Because
and that's an agenda.
What kind of music would you expect to hear from somebody that comes from a lineage of slavery? They're going to have their turn-up anthems and their music like that, but there's going to be some cuts on that album that are going to speak to that truth. What are you going to do when they start talking internationally about police brutality? The prison pipeline. how are you going to get away from that? Well, a person that may not have a lineage here, their experience, they might not have an experience with the prison, the school to prison pipeline.
Gotcha.
They might not have an experience with redlining and not being able to have adequate health care. They're not going to have an experience like that because they come from a different country and they're happy to be here because this is the difference. This country is way different from other countries. I've been other places,
right.
And I've seen that even just through the sewer system. We have an enclosed in the ground sewer system where many countries don't even have that. So they're grateful to be here. Meanwhile, we're fighting to, get to the same level.
It makes more sense to me now than it actually did when we first started about
right,
it.
Right.
What you're saying is Drake, Nicki Minaj, Kodak Black, and those guys, it's no fault of theirs. They won't have the same experience.
Right.
And that agenda, that message works better for those who want to hide ours.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Absolutely.
I got you. In hip hop, but switching gears, Kanye West.
Oh man.
A lot going on right now. Met with the president and a white supremacist. White Lives Matter. Where are you with Kanye's bipolarness? Is he a genius? Is he crazy? Where are you with Kanye?
Music, Kanye is very gifted. Musically, Kanye is that guy. But in action, this man is literally living out his lyrics. I mean, he told you when he get on what he was gonna do, right? And that's what he did. Now he got Kim Kardashian. You can't come crying to the black community about how poorly you're being treated as a father and then say that slavery was a choice. Those two things just don't go together, right?
He got to choose.
You know what I'm saying? And then you choose to live with the woman that, you've seen her record, you know what's up. This is what you chose. I have to support you as a brother and let you go through what you got to go through. I can't, we can't save you from. What do they say?
Method of support is let them
look. You don't turn her into a housewife.
Right.
I'm not saying she is, but for all the fellas, if she got a tape out there, probably wouldn't be the right move. But then again, we live in the OnlyFans generation.
Right.
A lot of these kids are gonna go to school in the next 10, 15 years, and the main joke is gonna be, well, I saw your mama's OnlyFans.
That's right.
Where is that? So Kanye, you can't come to me and say, hey, I want to be president, and then openly stand next to white supremacists. And these are people that said that they're white supremacists by their own accord. They believe that their race is superior to black people and that white people should be in charge. And if you can feel some kind of camaraderie with those folks, maybe I need to cut you off.
Right.
I got you. The tree, there's an African proverb, the trees are celebrating when they see the axe come into the forest because they see the wood handle, but they don't see the sharp edge. So Kanye is that axe. Kanye is chopping us down by saying, hey, support me. I want you guys to vote for me. And we want to rock with you, Kanye. But Kanye, do you rock with black people? And I think that's why Kyrie Irving got hit, because his name had a K in it. This man posted a link and he got hit. So they couldn't hit Kanye because he does have a small form of insulation due to the wealth. But even that doesn't save you. I mean, look at the outrage that he got, and he swiftly got cut off from Adidas. But Balenciaga has ads out here that, to me look like it might be peddling pedophilia, and there's barely a outcry. There's no consequence for this major brand, but Kanye West.
I had somebody tell me, "Nah, Brian, y'all don't understand what he's doing."
Oh no, it's not a chess
move.
move.
He lost the billions on purpose so that he could show y'all. I'm like, hold on.
I don't know about that one.
You don't get. Let's quit acting like everything he does is genius.
Right.
This is just me. Let's quit acting like everything is a chess move.
Right.
You don't become a billionaire, then decide on purpose you don't want it just so you can prove. We sometimes give people too much credit for their intellect.
Absolutely.
You don't become a billionaire with everything that you could have done to help your people at that level.
Right.
4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion. Then lose it all, and then we give him a pass like, oh, he's doing it just to show y'all that can't nobody control him. Well, control is what got you there.
He followed the same system that most billionaires in his situation would have followed. He got a huge brand deal with Yeezy. He started and he built himself up, and that's much respect to that. But what could he have done with $5 billion that you could have directed a couple $100 million to empower these schools or empower these kids? All we got is the albums.
That's it.
And now, we may not even have you on social media. I mean, if it wasn't for his friend Elon Musk reinstating him on Twitter,
he was gone.
He's probably out of there.
All right. Man, let's go on and get into it. Give the people what they want.
Absolutely.
Vending machines. How did you get into the? I tell you, we got to bring Jason back for part two.
Yes, indeed.
He has a lot of insight that I love. How how did you get into the vending machine business? At what point in your life did you say, this is the move? And then talk to me about how to get it started.
Okay. So, you know, during my time of trying to come out of homelessness, you know, I got on my feet, I got another job, I grinded, I put the hours in, you know what I mean? And I started working for a nonprofit that was helping kids get jobs.
Okay.
So that's how I got my feet, you know, so to speak, on solid ground.
Okay.
So once I got that job, I knew that I needed more. So I went to places like YouTube, Reddit, and I tried to figure out how I can make extra money. And I came across this term that kept coming up. It was called passive income. They kept talking about passive income. And so I found out that passive income is income that you can get without actually needing to work or do the labor for it.
That's right.
So I wanted some of that. That's what I wanted. I wanted, you know, money coming in that I didn't necessarily have to work every hour they receive, right? And so I looked up the hustles that you can do. So real estate was one of them that you can make passive income through renting out of a property. And I found that there was a lot of barriers. You know, your credit needs to be right. You might need a down payment. So that just wasn't the move. And so then I started looking at others, and I found vending machines. I actually found it by accident online. There was a guy posting videos of him removing cash from his vending machine.
Okay.
And I said, you know what, I think I could do that. And I saw that vending machines cost between $4,000 and $5,000. That was a little closer to my budget than the $25,000 that real estate wanted. You know what I mean? So I said, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try the vending machines. Now the problem came in is that I didn't have $5,000. I didn't have that money. So I did everything I could to find a location. I went after locations. I did everything that all the other vendors do. I knocked on doors. I made phone calls, and people hung up in my face the whole nine. You know, trying to be a better salesman.
One time for rejection.
Yes, indeed. One time, 2 times for rejection. Yes, indeed. But what I found is I found that a part of the problem was my mindset. So I had to go back to the drawing board. And I come from Alabama. I thought that people would have a certain prejudice towards me because I'm a black male with long dreads down my back. I thought people would look at me a certain way and automatically assume that, oh, I can't be trustworthy, oh, I can't be this.
Stereotypical.
But I had to get out of my own way.
Absolutely.
And so I started to reach out to any and everybody and tell them about this great business I had, but I had no vending machines. So one person finally told me yes. They were like, you know what, you talking a good game, bring me some vending machines to this office and I'm gonna put you in here.
Free.
I'm gonna get
free. You talk to people
yes
about the business
yes
to get the spot
yes
with no machine.
I was wholesaling. If you guys have been in the real estate game, you know how wholesaling works. You talk like this is your house to sell or you're ready to buy it, but you're really gonna just middleman the play.
Yes.
So I was kind of middleman in the play. I told people I had a vending machine business before I had the first vending machine.
One time for
Yes,
speaking it
indeed.
into existence.
You have to. The power of the tongue.
That's right.
The power of the tongue.
So we get it. We get somebody to give us a chance.
Yes.
Now how do we go get this machine? We promise.
Okay, so this is the secret sauce. This is the gem right here. If you guys have been waiting for the gem, this is how you do it. Most people don't know that you can finance vending machines.
Really?
When I found that out, that blew my mind. And it doesn't take perfect credit because people know that you're going to use these vending machines to actually create passive income.
Money, yeah.
And so I went to a couple companies. I actually called. I did the human thing. I didn't put an application in. I actually called. And when I talked to people, I told them what my situation was. The first thing you have to do is you gotta get out of the fear of being embarrassed.
There you go.
That's one of the biggest hindrances in our community because we want to be cool.
That's
Everybody wants to be cool. But you got to come out of that. You got to come out of that pocket of coolness and say, look, hey, you know, I want to start this business. I got this location. It has 50 units here. I'm going to make money.
There you go.
Now, whether you give me this deal or somebody else gives me this deal, I'm going to make money. So the difference is, do you want to make money? And you have to come in with that confidence.
Posture.
You have to come in with that confidence.
Posture, yeah.
There's a great book called Never Split the Difference that I read.
Yes.
And it talks about the art of negotiating. We're not splitting the difference. I'm coming in and telling you what we're going to do, and you're going to accept it, but I'm going to use some creative ways to get you to feed into what I want to do.
I need that, Jay.
Yes, indeed.
Because at the negotiation table, I be getting soft.
No, don't get soft. You got to go hard. Man, you got to go hard.
I don't even know if I had a friend of mine sit here, Alistair Edwards, shout out to Alistair. He was like, Brian,
indeed.
I don't think you're a bad negotiator or you soft. People that, like, sometimes you just don't have time for the BS, so you just
right. You cutting it off early.
You just cut it off early. You make a certain amount of money in your life, and you don't have time to be going back and forth.
Right.
And he was like, that's not that you soft. You just don't have time. Your time is more valuable than money.
It is.
But you saying that this book will help you I can get more leverage.
Absolutely.
Toughen up a little bit, learn how to negotiate, and that's what you did.
Yes, indeed. And so when I got my first deal, one of the problems that I had was that the guy wanted a piece of the cut. He wanted 15% of all the revenue.
Okay.
And so we were able to talk to the guy and really bring that number down. And I also told him, like, you know, since you're getting a piece of the money, I want this to be more of a partnership. So I want you to put signs in your building that say vending this way. I want you to make sure that you're a partner in my success, because my success is your success.
Okay.
And so when you change your mindset about it, it's not him taking something from me, it's us working together. This is just his cut.
Got it.
And so I had to change the way
that.
that even I approach business. Instead of me saying this is all about me, this is really about we.
Got it.
And so one of the things that I've learned is that, you know, no millionaire becomes a millionaire by themselves.
Absolutely.
You have to have a team. And so even the people that I get building spaces from, or I put my vending machine in a hotel, they are actually partners in my success.
Okay.
And so I'm going to treat them like that.
Okay. Okay. I love it. The first building they gave you a chance was in a what?
It was in an office multiplex. It had about 40 rooms there.
Okay. So everybody
Yes,
dropping by. Now, remind me to tell you my broke story.
I'm with it.
I didn't have a dime about
with
a
it.
vending machine.
Yes,
Before we go, y'all remind me to tell you my funny, bro. I love telling my broke story.
Yes,
but it
indeed.
involves a vending machine. So, Jay, he give us a chance.
Yes.
You make sure that he wins when you win.
Yes.
You lower the percentage that he's going to get.
Absolutely.
But you're going to get more volume based on the relationship.
Absolutely.
All right. How many do you have now?
So right now we have 22 machines. They're
20.
spread across the state of Alabama and the state of Georgia.
Come on, man.
Yes, indeed.
One time from going from
Yes,
1 to
indeed.
22, man.
Yes,
All right,
indeed. Did
now,
that like 18 months.
18 months.
18 months. Did that in like a year and a half.
All right, now I got to get down to the nitty gritty because
Yes.
I need to give me some of these.
What's up, everybody? Brian Beane here at Beane Acres, and I had to interrupt the episode. Why? It's time for some continued education. We got to keep the conversation going. I just launched my group coaching program, and if you know me, you know I'm about two things: instincts and income. We are the highest form of intelligence on the planet. Then why don't we tap into some of God's other creations and figure out how they survive in their natural habitat? What can a silverback teach you about confrontation in your life? What can a jaguar teach you about staying true to yourself? Think about it. What can a hummingbird teach you about time management? Well, maybe because he never visits the same flower twice if it has no nectar. What can a rhinoceros teach you about your friendships? What can a snow leopard teach you about isolation? These are all the things we're going to talk about on a month-to-month basis and show you how to use those same instincts to earn income. Visit workwithbnb. Those are my initials. Workwithbnb.com. Enter your name and email. A free gift will come along with the group coaching, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
How do we determine what goes in them? Is there a survey? Snickers versus Reese's versus Cinnabon? Honey buns.
Right.
How do we determine what goes in our vending machine? Does the supplier or do you?
So what we want to determine, first of all, is market research.
Okay.
You know, McDonald's, you know, Chick-fil-A, they're all researching who's shopping, who's buying, who's not buying.
Okay.
And so we need to really figure out who our customer is. And so in the office multiplex, I found out that most of the people were solopreneurs, meaning they were one person that owned the business and they're doing all the work. And so
the one in the office complex, one person
is working in that
and they
office,
coming in.
and they have clients coming in, and they're the only person working.
Okay.
So what does that person need? They need energy drink. They're going to need to stay there longer. They need something that's going to satisfy the hunger. They need a Snickers bar. They need something that's going to, you know, get them through the day. They need a bag of chips.
Oh, we're basing the vending machine, what's in it on where it is.
On where it is,
Duh,
absolutely.
Brian, one time
just like you know, Chick-fil-A does. Chick-fil-A they're surveying the area to make sure that the people that's in this area have enough money, enough disposable income to afford to shop at Chick-fil-A. So I'm doing the exact same thing with vending machines. I'm doing the exact same thing.
So, the content of the machine is based on what you think these people want, and oftentimes that's based on what they're doing every day.
Absolutely.
All right, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Now, when it comes to, and in a minute I'm gonna have you walk me through maybe the 5 steps, and then you got a course, right?
I got a course.
We got a course. So we're gonna get the course plug. All right, so what percentage is it standard? Is it an industry standard? Is it worked out? Does who all is involved? The place that has the machine.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Yes.
The suppliers filling the machine. Who all is in the pie?
Okay.
What's the chain?
So the chain normally, if you're a first-time starting out person,
Okay.
your chain is you and then the person that owns the building.
Just us two.
Just us two. That's
And
all.
I'm buying the snacks though.
You're buying the snacks. You're
Okay.
doing everything. You're refilling the machines. You're taking the money out, which is the important part. You know, you definitely don't want to forget the money. and you're using that money to withdraw and pay for the snacks for the next go round.
Absolutely.
But the owner of the building, they may receive a cut. Sometimes now, out of the 22 locations, I only have 2 locations I actually pay commission because people value the vending service itself. So you don't necessarily have to always give them a cut. They may just receive the benefits of this great service that you're providing. Like if I'm a hairstylist, I can't leave out to go get something to eat because that's gonna mess with my money. I gotta take 30 minutes in traffic, maybe 30 minutes getting back. The line was slow, they messed up the order. You're missing out on hundreds of dollars.
They're paying for convenience.
They paying for the convenience.
Got it.
So a lot of times the convenience is more valuable than me giving you 10, 15%. That's nothing.
I would have thought, I'm so glad I'm wrong. I would have thought everybody asked for a slice.
Well, a lot of people ask for a slice.
That'll mean.
And then you turn it back around and you remind them that, look, if I give you a cut, that means they're eating to my money. That means I will have to raise prices. And we want to keep this affordable for everybody that's using this vending machine. And most places will, look at it as, okay, hey, you can have it.
It's a service. The service that it provides and the convenience that it provides is their payment.
Absolutely.
In other words, more business will come as a result of you making these guys happy via the vending machine.
Typically, you get a 20% bump with having your vending machine on location.
Really?
Because people will stay longer, they're less likely to leave out, and in this day and age where we have COVID and all these airborne diseases and illnesses, it just behooves you to stay inside.
Got it.
So if you're here and people return to the office space, why not return to fresh snacks and cold drinks?
Got it. Okay, I love it. So let's go back to the loan real quick. On that first vending machine, did you got approved?
So I got approved. I had like a 550. I was hurting on the credit, brother. I was hurting on the credit.
But you came out of it.
I came out of it. I got a 550. They approved me for $10,000 in funding.
Okay, can you give me a rough estimate on what a vending machine costs?
So at the time, vending machines were ranging between $3,500 and $4,500. So I was roughly approved for about 2 vending machines.
Okay.
Now I only had the one spot, so I talked to him like a normal person. I said, hey, look, I didn't text or email. I called. I was like, hey, look, I only have the one location so far. Can you guys hold the other 5,000? And they were like, that's the whole point. We want you to come back and shop with us. So I got approved. I put the first vending machine on location. And by doing that with the financing company, it not only gave me a warranty, but they also included shipping. Okay. So they shipped it to the location. I didn't have to do a thing. Okay. I literally walked in and said, here's the door. I'm gonna hold it open for you. And they put the machine on location for me.
Okay, now at this point you gotta stock it?
Now at this point I gotta stock it. Okay. So I about a month earlier, I got a Sam's membership. You know what I mean? Like literally a month early, I got a Sam's membership.
I don't know why I'm thinking it's some magic pill.
No,
you go buy the stuff.
Yeah, you go buy it from Sam's.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Wholesale, put it in there.
Absolutely.
You determine how much each thing costs.
Absolutely. And you can always base that on the location. So I have a number of senior citizen homes. Okay. So for those locations, I always try to keep drinks at about $1. Okay. Canned drinks about $1 because that's what the generation is used to. They're used to seeing drinks for $1. So I don't want to price scare them and put bottled drinks in there and I'm charging $1.50, $1.75. So I put nothing but canned drinks in there, again, knowing who my customer is. Makes sense. Right? I'm putting moon pies and the things that they're familiar with, but that may not go in a younger area. Moon pies ain't it. Moon pies are not the move.
With the marshmallow.
No.
With the hard shake.
It will sit there. It will sit there and has done that. But moon pies at the senior citizen home is the place.
You gotta put 9 laters in there.
No, look, somebody's dentures are gonna be stuck tonight. I'm gonna get a phone call from one of the residents want their money back. Yes, indeed. But I literally just go to Sam's Club, pay for snacks, load them up, and let it make its money.
Get out. Okay, now, do we use the old traditional business of take our profits and keep flipping, or do we get another line of credit? How do we get to 22?
So to get to 22, what you have to do first of all is you need to maximize what you're making at that location. So before you get your feet wet and you guys go out and try to finance 10, 15 vending machines at one time, slow down and make sure you get the first one right, okay? Because it took a while. Me and my wife is the inventory manager, product specialist, secretary, accountant, banker. So my wife really slowed me down and said, look, Jay, I need for you to figure out this first one. So once we got to a place where we could replicate at least $600 to $700 a month per machine, then we went on and do it again. Okay. So at this point, we know what works, what doesn't work, what snacks people like, what they don't like, and we know exactly how much it's gonna cost. Got it. So before you get to 22 machines, maximize your profits first with that very first machine, and then if it's making over $500, you can replicate that over and over and over again.
Okay, so there's enough margin in a machine to pull 500. How often?
I pull at least once a month. Okay. So I look at vending machines as bills. So my first vending machine paid for my phone bill. My second vending machine paid for the light bill. Gotcha. The third vending machine pays for the card note. So I set my life up
Passive.
around, right. I
It's
set my
passive.
life around, hey, each machine needs to take care of a bill. You have 11 bills, I need 11 vending machines. When I got to 20, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe we went a little too far. I don't have this many bills, but then you got to think about student loans. What about the kids?
Yeah.
You know, stuff is rising. You got inflation everywhere.
Absolutely.
And this is the perfect time to get in vending because you have a lot of people that are retiring, that had to leave due to health reasons because of COVID. So now this is a prime opportunity for people to jump into this business. It's a $5.5 billion business. You can't beat it. You can't beat this.
Man, let me tell you something. I could talk to you forever, man.
Yeah,
I got
yes,
so
indeed.
many. I'm gonna tell you my broke story. But I told you, I warned everybody I was gonna pivot around with Jason.
Yes.
You mentioned your wife.
Yes.
Man, when I tell you, I just be watching y'all, right? I might pass you my best dad of the year award. It
Man,
was,
I appreciate
it,
that,
was
brother.
it was me.
I appreciate that.
But man,
I appreciate that. I hand it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand it to you, man. I thought I was the coolest dad ever.
Yes, indeed.
Jay, you are, man. I be watching, bro.
Much love, bro.
You are one of the coolest dads ever. Just
Much
your
much
patience,
respect.
yeah, your poise,
Yes,
the
indeed.
way you make sure, and you're a girl dad.
Yes, indeed.
Proud.
Proud. Proud 2 times.
And I love talk to the people about how important it is to have a supportive spouse.
Oh,
Because
man.
I know that you mentioned all the things that
Yes,
she does.
indeed. Yes,
man, you got
indeed.
some couples out there where the husband trying to keep the wife from succeeding, the wife trying to keep the husband from succeeding.
Absolutely.
That ain't our business, but talk to people, encourage somebody who may have a spouse right now that's gonna bring them in the room and say, listen to him.
Absolutely.
How important is it that they work together?
It is the keystone. It's, you know, in masonry or in building, there's a stone that supports the weight, which combines the building. A marriage is the keystone for most young men like myself that you know maybe didn't grow up with father figures, maybe didn't grow up with that same background. Having a marriage and having a supportive spouse can either make or break your vending machine business or any business. Any business. You know, like I told you before, I went through a divorce before I was married prior. I got married young for all the wrong reasons, that kind of thing. And what I found was that, you know, when I needed that support, I didn't receive it. Not only from the wife, but also from the family. Because when you marry a person, you're not just marrying that person, you're marrying into their family.
That's right.
You become one as a family.
That's right.
And so when you have a family against you, you know, it goes beyond just, hey, you know, I'm mad at my person. Now the person they're confiding in is like, I'm mad at him too. And, you know, you need to leave him, girl. Go on, get up out of
All
there while
that
you're
shadow
still
down
young.
there, yeah.
So you have too many people in and it tears the relationship apart. I had businesses that I started before. All of them failed because you didn't have that support.
Got you.
Absolutely. You got to have that.
So, what do y'all, when y'all beef, I can't even imagine y'all beefing.
I mean, we've been there.
When y'all beef, how do you resolve it?
We
got a
we've
business,
been there.
we got children. How do y'all handle y'all beef?
90% of the time, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the pride of us, and I'm not even joking.
Are you serious?
Like 90% of the time.
How do you figure 90% of the time you wrong?
Because my wife will say something and I'll be like automatically, no, that can't be right. And then like a day later, like her results will be proven fact. You know what I mean? Like I have to apologize. But one thing that I'm quick to do if I'm wrong about a situation, I'll apologize.
You apologize.
That's something I feel that every man has to take accountability to apologize to his wife or his spouse or whoever.
It makes sense.
You need to be able to apologize and you need to be able to build that relationship. Another thing that we've been doing is I constantly date my wife. Like we'll go out, we'll go do things, she'll date me. And that's so crucial because you got to keep that spice going.
Yes.
Because, you know, it becomes all about the baby after you have kids and, you know,
start neglecting the relationship.
Right. You know, you get caught in the hustle and bustle of business moves, and then you forget to be a lover. You forget to be that. It doesn't mean sex. It also means tenderness and understanding. And even sometimes when my wife is wrong, you know, my wife is right. You know, sometimes you have to be that person that, like, in public, I'm going to support you 110%, and then when we get into the car, I'm gonna be like, now, baby. I don't know about that one now. You know, you might have went a little too hard for that one. But in public, I'm gonna put on like, yeah, she was right.
She's right.
She's
You gotta
right.
uplift.
Absolutely.
Uplift.
Absolutely.
I love it, man.
So you gotta know your boundaries with your spouse, and we have a good communication system, which helps us. And then her family has really taken me in. Like I said again, I'm from Alabama. My wife's whole family is here in Georgia and parts of Florida, and so they've really embraced me as a whole and really taken me in. Like my mother-in-law doesn't call me son-in-law. She calls me her son.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's
so
a big difference.
that blending in, if I need something, I know I have the support.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. So I told y'all I was going all around the world.
Yeah, well, I'm with you.
Quick lesson back to vending
Yes.
before we go. Common mistakes. You can do vending or entrepreneur in general. Not you've been an entrepreneur. 3 common mistakes you don't want people to make, either the vending machine, entrepreneurship, or a combination.
Okay, so
3 big things you've seen.
So I'll announce them in their category. So I would say with vending, one of the biggest mistakes that people make with vending is assuming that you need a lot of money to get started. You don't need a lot of money. You can really get started in vending with like maybe less than $1,000. So vending is really flexible, and you don't need that all at one time. You can really finance out. If you have good credit, don't just sit on that good credit. Make that credit, buy assets, and then use those assets to fund your other purchases, your Louis Vuitton, all that good stuff. So do that with vending first. I would say number 2, reading. As an entrepreneur, you really have to read books. So like me and my wife, we have a mini library at the house with books stacked up of just, mindset, how to handle business deals. You need to constantly read because a lot of people have a short attention span, and a lot of people are not reading to broaden their horizon. So you want to get that knowledge as much as you can because that makes you valuable.
Absolutely.
So the different knowledge that I have comes from a lot of reading, a lot of studying. You know what I mean? Like, I am an armchair scholar.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'll
And
go and read for fun. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
and then I'll say the third thing is you got to put God first. And I probably should have put that number 1, but I want you guys to remember that God is the core and God is in you. So as long as you're breathing, you have God right beside you. God is there every step of the way. So you're gonna be fine no matter what you're going through. We'd have turned him into a recycler today.
Let me recycle these, man.
Yes,
as long as you're breathing, man.
You're winning.
Absolutely.
You're winning. You got a
Absolutely.
chance every 24.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Love it. I love it. So let me tell you my broke story in vending machines. So I love telling these broke stories because people don't realize how even then I would laugh. So it's a known fact. I used to sleep at airports because I couldn't afford the hotel.
Oh man.
So as a speaker, I'm on the road, and if I didn't sell back then this CD or DVD, if you didn't buy it when I was on the road, I wouldn't have enough money to get home. In other words, I have to sell these.
Right.
Like, I have to.
Respect that.
I'm broke as a joke. I'm at the airport, starving, bro.
I know.
Starving. I go to the vending machine. I might have popped my last 50 cents. I mean, this is all I got, 50 cents.
Oh.
And the thing spun and it got stuck.
That doesn't happen with my machines, y'all. I just want y'all to know.
Let's be clear. We done came a long way.
We done came a long way.
The little thing spun and my snack got stuck.
Oh.
Now, here I am. I just finished telling all these people how to make money, how to be successful. And look.
I've been there. You shaking the vending machine. Drop.
Jay, I'm talking about, no, it gets worse. You gonna give me this Snicker, right? I'm a little guy, vending machine huge.
Oh, man.
I'm shaking the vending machine. I'm starving to the point where I need to get something to eat. I'm about to ask somebody for some money. I got so desperate. I called the 800 number that's on the like they gonna come, like
look, I need y'all to refund me this 50 cent now.
I called the 800 number, bro.
I felt that. I felt that spiritually.
I don't know what y'all gotta do, but I just put 50 cents in this machine.
Today.
I need this to drop, or I need somebody to come out
My
here
refund today.
I never forgot. Every time I see a vending machine, to this day, I never forgot the hopeless feeling of starving. I wasn't homeless, but I was broke, below broke. And my 50 cents got stuck in the vending machine. And I remember saying to myself, it's been a lot of points in my life where I was like, 2 words. I would just say 2 words. Never again.
Real talk.
That's what I kept saying.
Real talk.
Never again. Never again will I be shaking a vending machine so that a Snicker can fill me up till I get home to get some kind of, frozen dinner back then.
In there.
And calling the 800 number to cuss them out. There better be glad they didn't answer. I was ready to lay over 50 cents.
50 cents, man.
50 cents.
You just never know what it means to somebody, My man was like, I need that.
I need that.
Need them 2 quarters.
And that's my broke story for the day.
Yes, indeed.
And it ties into what you do. And to see now that we both sitting here.
Yes, indeed.
I at one point was
Shake it up
for 50 cents, and you own 22 of them, man.
Yes, indeed.
I couldn't be prouder.
Yes,
bro.
indeed.
I'm proud.
And I'm proud of what we've been able to do, but it's so much more to do.
Absolutely.
You're talking about logistics. You're talking about You know, there are major independents out there that, you know, run circles around the 22 machines. There are people with hundreds of machines. I met a guy down here in Georgia. He has over 120 machines.
Wow.
And these are just the most, you wouldn't know that they have these machines. They make passive income. They're quiet about it. It's a very quiet industry. And that's why I really like it, because I can make money on the low.
Yes.
I like making money on the low.
Everybody don't have to know.
You don't need to know what I got going on. You just need to see the money. And you know, me, I don't buy a lot of stuff for myself. I spend money on my family. So we like to take trips and spend time with each other. And I think that's been like the biggest point of this vending business, has been like being able to be at home with my family.
Yes.
My daughter has never gone to a daycare. She's over a year and some change old, and has never had to spend time with anybody other than her parents.
I love it, man.
I love that.
I tell you, man, Dad of the Century, man.
I appreciate
Dad
that,
of the
brother.
Century. So
Appreciate that.
you know, ass off the record.
Yes,
Can
indeed.
the owner of the Instincts podcast get some kind of code?
I got you. I got
What
you.
we got? Tell us where to go. The code will be, can we use Instincts?
We can use Instincts.
We
We'll
can
put
use
that in the
Instincts
description.
or in the link in description.
Absolutely.
Let's get a website from you on where they can get the course. If you use the code Instincts, you either get a discount on the course or a discount on the you said something earlier.
So I'll give you a discount on the course. So my course includes 3 ebooks as well as a mentorship private group. So
Okay.
I'll give them 100% access to the 3 books and the mentorship group.
Okay.
And we'll do it I'll do like 50% off.
Hey.
I'm gonna do it half off just for Instincts podcast. So y'all heard it here first. Go to
man.
Venddaddy.com and you'll see the sign for shopping at the Learning Center. So
Okay,
definitely.
cool. Type in the word Instincts and the site again.
Venddaddy.com.
Vend as in vending
VEND.
machine.
Yes, Vend as in Vend, and then Daddy, because obviously I got them kids. Yes, indeed.
VEND-daddy.com.
Daddy.com. Yes.
VEND-daddy.com.
Yes, indeed.
Hey man, bring the baby up here.
Yes,
man.
indeed. You
Bring the baby up
bring
here.
my little sunshine.
Bring the sunshine up here so we gotta appreciate. Lex, you come up here too.
Y'all.
This is the backbone.
This is my wife Alexis, and this is my little daughter Ava. She's the youngest member of our staff.
Lex, stand back here behind the camera on this side so they can see you. What's up, Lex?
Hello.
You good?
I'm good.
How
I'm
proud
good.
are you of the Venddaddy?
Very proud.
All right,
Very proud.
all right.
Couldn't
You're
be
doing a
prouder.
great job.
Say
Hey, but what's
hi.
up?
Say hi.
All right. So look, before we go, you tell me if you agree with what he's about to say.
Okay.
All right. So this is the Instincts podcast,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
So we always teach people that God is the highest form of intelligence. We are the highest form of intelligence on the planet.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Humans are. God made us in His image, but we're the weakest emotionally.
Absolutely.
We get a no and we just fold up. Unlike Jason, most people get a no and they ain't making the call. So I get people to understand that as the highest form of intelligence on the planet, if you tapped into some of His other creations and used their instincts in your life,
Absolutely.
where would you be? I'm gonna roll with the Silverback today, real quick.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of people don't know. The Silverback is what's known as the king of confrontation,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
Either someone is trying to take his spot or he has to take somebody's spot. This is every day, all day, when they wake up, somebody's trying to take his spot, even his own children, or he has to take somebody's spot.
Yes.
And I want people to understand, in capitalism, we have to have that mentality, but we don't have to live like that.
Right.
In other words, we have a choice, and that choice is simple. We can learn to collaborate, or we can learn to compete. Or we can learn to collaborate, or we can keep competing. Competition is cool. Friendly competition is great. Being inspired by somebody else's success is great. Not to the point of envy, but jealousy is a weak emotion. And envy and jealousy, when you see somebody else succeed, what you need to do is look at that person as a shining example of what's possible for you.
Absolutely.
I'm not sitting over here going, oh, he got 22 vending machines. I need 23. I'm going, this brother got 22 vending machines and I don't own one. And when we collaborate, when we start having more of a collaboration mentality over a competition mentality, we don't have to go out there and decide who we're going to take over today or who's going to take us over today. We got to start coming together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? What animal do you relate to the most in your life and why?
You know what? That's a great question. One of the things. So when I think about myself, Ava, she's relating to the swan right here. One of the things that I thought about was in business, I am kind of like the Silverback.
Okay.
Because I'm always confronting bad service or bad vendors and replacing them with better service, or I'm making those moves. But when I think about myself just in regular life, I'm thinking of myself as a horse. I'm more of a Mustang because I
Okay.
like to roam free. I'm not a caged animal. I am very loyal,
I love
but
it.
I definitely, I'm definitely a free spirit.
Yes.
And I go where the wind takes me. So I would say I would probably be a nice stallion or a Mustang.
I love it,
For
man.
sure.
I love it.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, man. It's been great to have you, man. Y'all make
Yes,
sure y'all go
indeed.
check out Venddaddy on all platforms.
Yes, indeed.
VEND Daddy. Get the chorus. If you're watching this on the app, or listening on Apple, Spotify, all the different areas where you can listen to your podcast, please subscribe. You're going to see him live here on YouTube. Click the link down low. The Venddaddy's in the building. It's a great day to change lives.
Yes,
hey, man,
indeed.
you guys are already angels. Get out there and spread your wings. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff.